Hello and welcome to another episode of Next Generation's First Generation. I'm your host, Sascha Shouties. With me today, I have Patrick Delmore.
Hey, everybody.
And we also have our good friend up north, Mr. Eddie.
Hey, and thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yay, we love it when you come on board. So, what we have going on today is a little bit of an identity crisis. This is a Jordy episode where he bobs and boops like an alien and just doesn't want to be found. It's a transformational episode. Anything interesting to note of this episode before we get it started?
Not that I can think of.
I just remember it being kind of a fun DNA episode. They haven't really gotten into DNA that much in Star Trek until now. And just about 1991, that's, I believe, just before the Human Genome Project started. So DNA was already kind of becoming a buzzword in the culture back then.
I think it finished around this time. It took quite a while to wrap up. I think it started in the 60s and then it wrapped up in the 90s. I think it took that long to map.
I remember them just talking about it in high school. It started in 1990, completed April 2003.
Okay.
Thank you, Internet.
Okay.
All right. So, here we go. So sync up your viewing devices. I'm going to give you the countdown. And when we get to 1, you do your thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and play. Or 1. Oh, we've got some Blair Witch footage going on here. Shaky camera. So I believe this gentleman is wearing a camera on his head.
Yep. Well, we would now call a GoPro.
Or the failed Google Glass.
So this is we can tell this is the past because Jordy is in his old command uniform that he wore in season 1.
They had the red striped shoulders, which they kind of phased out. This officer here giving the report looks very familiar. She's kind of channeling a Commander Shelby.
A little bit, yes. I think Riker took his share of kind of comeuppance for how he treated Shelby and is much more forgiving with her. Well, partially because she doesn't want Riker's job. But.
So, this character is named Susanna Ligetten, Leijten, played by Marion Plunkett. Very cool name. Was in LA Law and Matlock.
Nice. I think you're going to find a lot of people were on Matlock.
Law and Order.
I think you're going to find that even more people were on Law and Order.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So this episode, Identity Crisis, the 18th episode of Season 4, came out March 25th, 1991. So that means we are in March, the rites of spring. You probably are hoping your tulips are popping out and that things are going well. If you're lucky, you got your COVID shot. If not, we hear it's coming soon. We're recording this not too far in the past, just in January 17th, I believe, just before Martin Luther King Day. So this episode was written by Timothy DeHaas, but the teleplay was done by Brandon Braga, and we've seen him a lot in Star Trek.
One of the main executive producers of the show.
Dennis McCarthy did the music. He's not a bad guy.
Brandon Braga, you see everywhere. He did the Cosmos 2 seasons. Which ones were they? With the Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yep.
Really? I did not know that he was part of that.
Yep.
And he works on the Orville too.
Yep. Orville.
Oh, well, I think anybody who had anything to do with Star Trek made it onto the Orville somehow. There's our Racing Stripe Enterprise flying by. Our recliner in the sky. The Enterprise. Super comfy ship. So they're warping along. I guess they watched a report of some crew who had disappeared mysteriously, and all they could really find were a stripped uniform. And now they have the same instance where someone has disappeared. Their uniform was gone. There was no indication that there was anything wrong with them. So it looks like that has prompted a reunion between Jordy and Susanna, who used to serve together on the, I want to say, USS Victory.
And yeah, since we're now seeing Jordy again in a situation with a woman as a colleague, they have to really put a button on what their relationship is. They consider each other little brother, big sister. And he brushes off any idea that he has been up to any shenanigans since we last saw him. He's just like, oh, I'm just enjoying being a bachelor.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, wow. But they're worried about their friends too at the same time. I mean, the reason they're brought together is due to tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anyone's going to figure this out, it'll be the Lighton and LaFord show, right?
Lighton is how you pronounce her name.
Lighton?
Yep.
I wonder if she's related to Admiral Lighton. No, that was Layton in Deep Space Nine. Boy, I sure do reference that show a lot.
That's a good show to reference.
Very good show.
So it looks like they found the shuttlecraft. They're scanning for life forms. Lieutenant Hickman. That's a new name. Another name.
So the Enterprise has been in this situation at least once before, where they're so close but so far away from a shuttle that the shuttle will just end up destroying itself.
The shuttle's acceleration is increasing. Its trajectory is moving.
It seems like they should have like a very specific protocol for how to deal with this. And really, it seems like both times they encounter it, they just fly by the seat of their pants.
Hmm.
You remember that guy's son that beat feet onto the ship, and they had to figure out how to save him.
Yes.
This is pretty much this exact same situation.
I don't want to sound creepy, but I noticed on the ensign in her bust, they actually let out the uniform a little bit just to accommodate for the bust. Like you can kind of see a horizontal seam going right across the side there. I'd never noticed that kind of tailoring before. I thought these were kind of like spandexy woolish. Oh no, the spandex was the first season. This is now wool.
Oh, Lord help you if you've got an itch.
All right. So here's Picard giving the how to fly a shuttle advice, and the shuttle is burning up in the atmosphere. Looks like a comet, and it's gone. He's out of there.
Yep. That was their friend.
So many times in Star Trek have we just watched helplessly as a person in a shuttle gets killed.
I like that they panned across without showing what kind of an expression Picard was wearing on his face.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yep. Now we see. It's like, well, hazards of the job. I mean, the guy was doing what he wasn't supposed to do and he got dead. He's more upset than he is concerned.
So here we are, back to this base in the shuttlecraft. I'm a little confused by this scene. Now, is this a recreation, like the holodeck recreation, or is this in real life?
No, they went back to where they were examining.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're just, having their away team, which Riker's running.
Mm-hmm. Looking around. Mendez.
The other thing is that, thankfully Riker is not so cold that he's like, okay, can we recover this shuttle?
Right.
We do need shuttles. Mysterious footprints.
Wah, wah, wah. I missed that. Oh no, they're just regular hand beacons. For a second there, I thought it was a blacklight.
Nope. No, she got something on her neck. She has been infected by whatever infected her crew that made them return to this planet.
Now, the Worf's tactical belt there just looks like if he started running, he would just drop all his stuff. The phaser would wiggle out. The tricorder would pop out. Yeah, searching around. We're not really finding anything. It's kind of a neat to see an abandoned base. It reminds me of the terraforming set that we saw in season 2, where they were on the bags of mostly water aliens.
Yep. It could be some of the same things recycled.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Susanna. She's gone missing. Are they going to find her outfit, her uniform?
No, they find her.
Wait.
But yeah, she has been infected.
Now, if you were on an away mission to look for somebody and the first thing you saw was a shredded jumpsuit, would you think that they're just running around in the buff?
It's probably happened. People go crazy and get naked. Again, I would think there would be a tighter playbook for what's going on than the one they're using of just let's wander around aimlessly.
Yeah, it is kind of, flying by the seat of their pants, sort of just walking around. Yeah, you get the perimeter, Worf and Data, but otherwise, not a big deal. And I noticed how they go in the same direction when they said that, which was interesting. You'd think they would actually go in opposite directions and work around, but I don't know.
At least walk in a spiral pattern.
Well, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
She is nervous.
Yep.
So obviously we can see some behavioral reactions here. I think it was kind of premature for him to kind of hug her like that to restrain her.
Yeah, but that may be procedure. I could see Riker doing the same thing to Jordy.
That's a really cool shot.
Yes.
Seeing the reflection of the sickbay in her eyes.
You look fine now.
You went crazy and I hugged you with my bear hug of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's the first clue. She's gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Yeah, but a histamine response to a altered DNA, I gotta admit that's a little suspect.
Is that what she just said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man. Meanwhile, she's like, I think I've got some Benadryl somewhere around here.
An ancient Earth remedy for what they called the sniffles.
Yeah.
This is a slow-moving opening here. Holy smokes. Well, it's only the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's funny. The subtitles didn't know when Picard said we were analyzing all the data, whether or not he meant Data the proper name or Data the noun. Which is also a noun, I guess. Person.
Right.
The inactive noun.
So here we are, finally. What's the next step of this adventure? So she had an episode on the planet. They beamed her back, checked her out in the sick bay, and she's looking all twitchy, like she just did a whole bunch of meth or something.
I'm so excited. I'm so scared.
Now this is where they should really just turn back around and go back to sick bay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But it's this idea that's like, but he's her friend. He doesn't want to take her back there.
So where are they going instead?
Somewhere else.
During microscopic examination of the uniform, I discovered these.
He just left her wherever it is he left her.
Yep. Right there. On the bridge. It's assuming they went straight to the bridge. Let's just call it that. Or they went to the room with the 3 seashells.
Is that a Demolition Man reference?
Yep.
No. The 3 seashells? Oh, yeah. No, it is. It is.
Yeah.
And there is a crossover there about the bathroom having 3 seashells in it. I can't remember who made the connection, but someone did. So here's Data doing his forensics thing. I always loved the Data Science Station research. It's like that's where all the work happens at the console.
I love that. This is what like normal human footprints look like, and they're like wing-toed shoes with heels. And here's what these alien footprints look like.
Actually, it kind of when I was looking at those, like, kind of reminded me of like Kermit the Frog for some reason.
Yep.
So now they are assuming that they were exposed to something in the environment that's making them all go crazy. In the air, something they touched. What's going on? And we're back in sickbay, folks. Now, why are you there, Data, and not on the bridge? You were just on the bridge.
You're worried about Jordy, aren't you?
This is a snoozer of an episode.
Yeah, I'm an android. I don't worry about stuff. I mean, yeah, I sat through this thing twice, and it's just like, yeah. I mean, it's got a good special effect at the end. I think that's where the money went, not to getting the actors excited.
Oh, she's pressing. She's pressing him.
Strongly motivated to solve this mystery that involves my friend.
She is almost got him to admit he's got feelings for Jordy.
Yeah.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Jordy looks at the record and he notices something in the analysis and he wants to go to
a shadow that's there that shouldn't be there.
Which is one of the symptoms of a schizoaffective disorder, is seeing shadow people.
Huh.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, but they're not schizoaffective.
No, not at all.
That's messed up because that was something that Art Bell wanted to convince the world was real.
Shadow people?
Yep.
Yeah. Whatever happened to the guy? I know he passed away.
Yes.
He moved to the Philippines briefly, and then he moved back. Then this other guy took over.
George Norrie does that show now.
Oh man. Yeah, just he didn't pull it off as entertaining as Art Bell. I remember I stopped listening to George Norrie when they interviewed a person who had the soul of a horse.
Oh, and I can just hear Art Bell. Now you might laugh.
You guys are welcome to insert an Mr. Ed joke at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here.
Wilbur.
Now we've covered a lot of ground here.
All right, so Susanna, back to the thing that we're watching and reviewing. Susanna, she's starting to get emotional. Oh, Susanna.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why don't you
make me yell at you in front of everybody in sickbay?
Whoa, that's kind of interesting. So she had the seizure and fell down. Oh, now it's cool.
She got the blue on her.
Jordy, I don't want to go to Vegas and beat on drums.
Oh, God, all of her fingers got stuck together. I'm going to be a flipper person. Hey, flipper people have been known to live long, fulfilling lives.
Flipper,
hey, Nurse Ogawa's back.
Yeah, look at that. Is she still a nurse or is she a doctor?
She's a nurse. She's a nurse for the whole show, I believe.
Alyssa.
She's a doctor in. She's a doctor in the episode where Riker's in the future.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. I've heard of stories of janitors becoming nurses, becoming doctors. They just keep on doing schooling. I love the eyes. I love the eyes. Look at that. They just do really subtle blacklight work there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to kiss her? No. He's not going to kiss her.
No, it's his sister. I mean, figuratively. The same way that Data is Keiko O'Brien's father.
You know, that closes the door on so many fantasies, but opens up a lot of other possibilities.
Oh, Lord.
I was really weirded out by the eyes as a kid because back then I didn't understand how blacklight worked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. At first I thought it was like maybe a special effect, like they drew it in or computer stuff. Actually, you know what? I think there were eye drops. There were luminescent eye drops because you can see it pooling in the corner of her eye.
Yeah, blacklight doesn't quite do the yellow. So they must have done some sort of drops in there. Or contacts.
Oh, here we go. They finally figured it out. The DNA is being transformed, so they're becoming a different species. Whether or not that actually, does it really happen? We don't know. This all of a sudden I'm reminded of dinosaurs originating from frogs, frog DNA, Jurassic Park. Are you telling me that I'm about to be put in an exhibit in an alien zoo?
I had 2 full bioscans today. You said I was fine. I gave Susanna a bioscan too.
2 full bioscans today. I walked in and the doctor told me to bend over. This is kind of relevant to what's going on today, where it's like, yeah, you could be sick and infect people and not have any idea that you're sick. You could be entirely asymptomatic and just walk around being a super spreader. We don't need more bioluminescent lizard people, Jordy. We just don't. Remember that guy we had to blow up at Starfleet? Well, he had worms. Well, he could have been a bioluminescent lizard, too. Still would have had to phaser the heck out of him.
Well, so here's Jordy trying to convince that he needs permission to go and kind of freelance this mission and check it out for himself. Another bioscan, even though they don't work. Yep. Go and do another one. Keep searching until you find the thing.
We used to have this thing called barium back in the day. Just drink a whole lot of it and stand in front of this screen.
There we go. I think that the use of the shadows is good storytelling here.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like an escape room where the clue is right there in front of you. You can't unsee it once you know about it.
15, 5, 8. It's all anomalies. No audio anomalies.
There are 8 billion anomalies.
Projection. Z particle emission. Interferometric frequency.
Could you imagine if the computer like dropped a number that big and somebody told them to extrapolate the data from each data, each one of those points? Like list all 8 billion in detail.
Mm-hmm. I'm still expecting to see John Hammond come out around the corner. It says, we'd like to sample some of your DNA and mix it with this planetoid frog. So there's Mr. Angry Jordy.
Okay, Jordy.
We got it.
Good. Maybe if you went in the holodeck and made a simulation. I'm not allowed to do that anymore, Data.
Especially not with a species that responds to black lights.
Yep.
We got to degauss the holodeck, which is code for scrub it clean.
Yep, just keep scanning. Just keep scanning.
An alien parasite that was capable of overwriting its host's DNA. Removing that parasite quickly returns the person to normal. In theory, that sounds like a pretty good sci-fi.
Yeah, this is just so low energy. I mean, you could have had this happen to, what happened to Susanna happened to a crew member we'd seen before. I mean, I think it happened to somebody we'd never seen before, just so we would know that it's possible they could die. But
or
still,
if it was a plague, like a number of okay, so it wasn't just going to the planet that exposed you. It would be if someone had turned into one of these creatures, just being in the same room with them would convert you as well.
Yeah. But they were all infected by the thing, back when they were on the Victory together. So that's how long it takes to reassert itself. And it only accelerated because she went back there. So Jordy's is eventually going to accelerate too.
Viral crash. Very small when your scans haven't found it. I want a full genetic analysis. We're going to examine any abnormality we find, no matter how insignificant it is.
So it's interesting that you make that suggestion earlier. The original script by Timothy DeHaas involved 2 non-regular crew members undergoing the transformation.
Huh.
What do you know?
Yeah. Oh, this is where he sees the extra shadows.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. So Brandon Braga was assigned to rewrite the script after completing the work with Ronald D. Moore on Reunion. Braga noted that he wanted to do a story for LeVar Burton because he liked LeVar Burton as an actor and felt that the character was not given enough screen time. That's nice. Braga's first draft was much more horrific, with many more aliens on the surface.
Huh. That would have been fun.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm getting all this from Memory Alpha, folks.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, if they went down there and it was just like swarming with like weird humanoid creatures, you didn't know what they were doing instead of, they're just kind of vaguely off in the distance. Like when you walk through a park at night in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
They're there, but you can't see them.
The scene where LaForge uses the holodeck to investigate the away team recording was a homage by Braga to the film Blow Up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that film.
Neither do I.
It's a movie from the 60s. Oh. Or no, it's not. From the 70s. It's a Brian De Palma movie with John Travolta, where he uses sound to recreate an automobile accident.
So in the last scene, it showed him twitching his hand a little bit. He's definitely becoming affected.
Yep.
It must be odd seeing a copy of yourself on the holodeck that you yourself have created.
Yeah, because wouldn't you immediately want to interact with it in ways you can interact with yourself, like for the sake of trying to be family friendly, like see if you could fight it.
Yeah.
Like who would win in a fight, me or the simulation of me?
I'm sure Worf has done that many times on the holodeck.
Yeah.
The lower decks have covered that where I can't remember the name of the female lead, but she creates a
Mariner.
Mariner. She creates a copy of herself, and they fight.
Yep. I'm hoping we get a Jordy cameo on that show. Seems like the kind of thing LeVar Burton would want to do.
It's interesting now that the computer can extrapolate where the people went after the recording is stopped.
Yeah.
I've always felt sorry for people who played holodeck characters because they would have to stop and just stand there.
Hmm. Well, sometimes it's a static image, but sometimes it is just people standing there.
Straight as a board, light as a feather. Oh, they're even playing the audio backwards. I love it.
Little nod to Twin Peaks that had aired the year before with the backwards talking.
That's actually something that I'd like to ask the higher being, if there is one. What was the true purpose of Twin Peaks? What was the message?
Apparently it's TV is bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. There's our shadow. This kind of freaked me out as a kid.
It should. I mean, this is one of the cleverer things that they do here. And their ability to make it kind of 3D.
Yeah, so
Computer, who is this?
So this is where they tried ultraviolet effects here. And they actually had a discussion about it.
It doesn't look too bad.
We used heavy blue light for the set lighting and different lighting that you see elsewhere because all of the source coming from behind the camera is blue light. That's a decision we made, and it should look harsh and unrealistic and not well lit because it's not lit from one single source, one single blue source. It's basically a beacon shining out. Well, that means that your camera is forced into one perspective. It has to be in front of wherever that light is. Oh, he's starting to get tired.
Computer, why you gotta be like this?
Let's say that my friend and I here are about the same size. Say,
who's your friend, Jordy?
1.7 meters.
Please identify who is your friend.
Yeah. Apple Corps, Baltimore. Who's your friend?
Data is not here. Whoa, there it is. And just seeing this, I think, triggers a response. Well, you can kind of see his eye for a half a second. You see it in the visor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he only had 85% vision reduction in that thing. There's the histamine response.
He's got a cold.
COVID. Oh, and his hands are futzing together.
No!
If that was happening, I hate to say it, but wouldn't you take like a letter opener or a knife or something and cut through the skin?
I don't know. I
tried to go to the infirmary.
Yeah.
I go swimming first. I'm like, hey, I want to give these suckers a try.
Look at my flippers.
Hey, Troy didn't appear in this episode, by the way.
Nope.
No Troy.
Taking a nap on the front porch. There's like a lazy mountain cabin in Beta Z, and she's on the porch swing underneath a comfy blanket, just snoozing away.
So apparently a Miss Universe was a guest star in this episode.
Oh, was she the ensign? Must have been the ensign.
Mona Grutt. as Ensign Graham.
Yeah, sit with her let out uniform.
That's
yeah,
why.
that was her.
Yep. Well, isn't Miss Universe fitness thing too?
I think so.
So she might have had big pecs under her chest too. So
Now,
it might have very much been a necessity.
Now, it is very well known that we are going to see two LA disc jockeys here, Brian Phelps and Mark Thompson, and they are the two aliens that they discover.
Are they still famous?
Probably
the 1991
not.
Thing, yeah.
I mean,
like when John Tesh played the Klingon.
Yeah. Well, have we ever heard of a disc jockey? They're not called that anymore. They're just called radio personalities.
Yep.
I guess.
Disc jockeys.
I like how one of them are Phelps though, and then you have the hands fusing together. That's kind of funny coincidence. Like Michael Phelps, the swimmer.
Oh
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
It took me a second just to pull that together. Nuts. All right. So you never ask the computer where somebody is if you actually want to know where they are. The computer can tell you where they're not.
He may still be on board, but undetectable to our sensors.
Computer, search for intruder. Because I wouldn't, if that's the case, with the second that his DNA changed. Well, I guess what she means is that whatever he turned into, the sensors don't pick up. But you would think that the second his DNA changed, the computer would go on red alert and say there was something there that shouldn't be there.
Oh,
the giant mouse of Minsk.
Looks like Jordy's naked on the holodeck again.
Every single time. We got to ban him from the holodeck.
No wonder him and Barkley are such good friends.
Yeah. Riker's like, even I keep my pants on.
That's a pretty cool effect right there.
Yes.
That's very well done.
What is the name of that effect? Because we've seen that in other places too, where you just superimpose a ripple image on the existing. It's basically it's two shots.
Like can't stop it. Plot says so.
Whoa! There we go. That is either Mark or Brian.
I thought the other two are Mark and Brian. I thought this was Jordy in makeup or LeVar Burton in makeup. Because we get to see two more of them when they go to the surface.
Well, this episode did win an award for outstanding makeup.
It should have. It still looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Captain, if we can get close enough to Jordy, we can read his absorption spectrum with an ultraviolet.
Patty Yasutake. I'm killing that. That's Nurse Ogawa.
Yeah.
She's been in quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 10 or 15 episodes. So, what is Data doing here? Look like he's trying to create a Jordy detector.
Yeah. It goes bing when it detects something.
That transporter technician, his name is Dennis Medlone.
Mr. Medlone.
He was also a Borg.
Hey.
And a Klingon.
And a Klingon.
Yeah. He gets around.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening with the enhanced sensor array? All scans are still negative. We've got to find a way to track him. What about the high resolution EM scan? We are adjusting sensors to read commander.
Yeah, he did a lot of work in Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Jordy doesn't have several hours.
He was in Armageddon Game, the 37s, Prophet Motive.
Nice.
Yeah, Undiscovered Country is a Klingon.
That's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll probably cover on the podcast this year. See, that's what I'd like to be. Is just like just a utility player that they always call you in, and it's like, hey, we need somebody to be the guy that does this thing. That's actually the dude on. Have you finished Discovery yet?
Yes, I have.
The guy in the wheelchair or not in the wheelchair, that was in kind of the spinal restraint thing that was on there.
Yes.
He's played a ton of aliens.
Oh, I bet. Doesn't he also have Lou Gehrig's disease?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got ALS.
And that's why they
That's
put
why
him
they
on
built,
there.
yeah. Without all the stuff on his face.
No,
She looks kind of like Lily Taylor there.
I haven't finished Discovery yet, which is fine. I don't.
Yeah.
But
You're not. No spoilers in that information.
No, okay. Are you talking about episode 13?
Are you? Which season are you in?
No, you must turn them off. The light frightens them.
What about the ultraviolet?
That's beyond the
Which season am I in?
Yeah,
Discovery, yeah.
Yeah.
3. Like the beginning of 3.
Okay, yeah, he's at the very end of the show.
Okay.
So we're in the final part of the plot here. They found the detector, or Data was able to create the detector that goes bing. He's walking around with it,
and they are curing her for the DNA thing. What it turns out is that's how they breed, by changing the DNA of various species. So there they all are. There's our award-winning makeup. They still look really, really cool. Obviously, you couldn't do that every week, but those are some awesome-looking aliens.
It really is. Absolutely love it.
Interesting if they had a Journey to Babel type episode where they had joined the Federation.
Ooh.
You have to have the light at a certain level for them to be.
Well, they would be good covert ops.
Yep.
Folks, hey, do you need us to sneak in on a ship?
Section 31. Get him in there.
Now, this is a good episode, and I like it a lot. Not to pick on it scientifically too much, but I do think it'd be a little bit easier to detect them due to heat, for example, and other wavelengths and other things that I would think in a few hundred years we would be able to detect quite easily without having to design anything, et cetera, et cetera.
Still does. You're not one of them yet, Jordy. I can help you.
Oh, she's trying to talk him out off the ledge, so to say.
I know what's going on.
Do you run and join the species, or do you come back to your life?
Well, and he says after this happens that it was he had no idea who was talking to him or what they were talking about. He completely reacted on instinct.
I know how to beat it now, Jordy. Look at me.
The person
I like that she does the same thing to him that he does to her. That kind of shows them as equals. Yelling at him when he runs away, just like he yelled at her when she ran away.
Yes.
So it's not a power imbalance.
No, it's pretty equal.
Yeah.
Take my hand, walk with me to the stars. He is scared.
Yeah.
So that guy who the shape, the hooded or the cloaked character that they discovered on the holodeck was actually played by a guy named Randy James, who has been brought into the show quite a bit of times. He's also a photo double for Cole Meany.
Huh.
Oh.
So that means Cole Meany could play a blob. How cool would it be if they had that blue lightning effect just kind of zap between their hands?
Yeah. Yeah, he touches her and she just explodes. Oh, boy, we did not see that coming. As far as the mission logs are concerned, we never went to the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't find him.
She died in a transporter accident of some sort.
So they used a photo double for LeVar here, a guy named Jenkins. The photo double was for the holodeck scene, by the way, which I thought that they just did a superimpose. And then
Jordy, you're all right. Well, you need to do a photo double because he had different hair back then that he does now.
True.
That would have been, everybody would have been like, wait a minute. That's not what LaForge's hair looked like. I mean, you got the uniform mostly right, but you can't fool us with the hair.
No, they used a lot of photo doubles for this episode. One for Brent Spiner, Gates McFadden. This is where the over the shoulder shots, kind of like what you had brought up earlier.
Act on instinct alone. In another few minutes, I wouldn't have.
Oh, they got another guy. You remember Dexter Clay was a stand-in for Michael Dorn for a while.
Yep.
Well, they also have another guy by the names of James Washington. And he was actually one of the doctors in the Malkorian episode where Riker was held hostage and had to have sex with an alien to escape.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. But not with this person, somebody else.
Yeah. With BB Newworth. Little Cheers cameo.
Oh, yes. Well, they're having the we survived coming together moment. You can really tell that the visor is just kind of cobbled together from that other.
Bum, 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 bum.
What, did we cross the finish line?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Boy, low energy. Low energy.
Wake me up when it's over, Mom. Holy smokes. Well, boy. Oh, there's the sneaker. The next episode just came up.
It looked pretty.
Yeah. So, anywho, yeah, I was asleep. I was really struggling.
I think all of us were very low energy on that. And can we blame the episode though? How many glowing eyes does it get?
2.
Glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Back to that again.
Eyes in the dark.
Yeah, eyes in the dark last time, glowing eyes this time.
It was a pretty low energy. I think it was a great sci-fi concept. They could have really jazzed it up by having more, as they originally planned, just having some crew members be struck with this. So it was a larger, more obvious emergency rather than chasing associates from this far-flung away mission from years ago. The whole idea of body transformation is pretty common in sci-fi, where you become something else because of a parasite. And, Voyager replicated this with, I want to say Tuvok and somebody else. I could be wrong. Anyway.
Tuvok and Neelix.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The Tuvix.
Tuvix. Oh,
everybody's still mad about that. They need to do, if they're going to bring Janeway back for that Prodigy show, they need to bring a Tuvix out of an alternate reality to be like, you're from the world that kills me.
No, there was a Voyager episode where someone got exposed to something, and it was 2 crew members, and they were transformed, and they were looking for this lost city, which was actually the breeding grounds for when they became a new species.
Are you talking about the one where Janeway and Paris turned into iguanas that had babies togetger?
No, the other transformation.
Yeah, there's only so many. I mean, there's only so many Star Trek plots, to be fair. But Voyager was even worse. It was like, something unexpected happened. What's going on? Yeah. Let's fix it the same way we do every week. A crack in the eye of the black hole.
It's funny, though, because when you think about it, I mean, reproduction, on planet Earth, the only one that we know of that sustains life, there's very specific ways of doing it, and through genetic manipulation, there aren't, I believe, too many different ways. I don't know too much about biology, but it would be interesting if, you got out there in the cosmos and all of a sudden many people are doing it. Many species are doing it.
Well, there is fungus on this planet that can get into the nervous system of ants, for example, and it will transform the ant into like a walking zombie. And all the actions that the ant does is to propagate the fungus, so it can, spread and survive, I guess.
Well, that's how viruses travel too. But... So yeah, I will also give this You glowy eyes. How about you, Brian?
You
mean Brian. Sorry, Eddie.
Oh, it's all good. I was like, Brian.
I'm used to Sasha's friend, Bryant.
Yes, Brian. Yeah, I know Brian. I would say 2.5.
Okay.
I actually really liked it. I thought like I said, the effects were really well done and have aged well. And you got to give some credit, in my opinion, to that. I liked it.
Yeah, I would agree. So the consensus is the practical effects were wonderful.
Oh, yes.
And the storytelling just didn't survive.
Yeah.
Because now in the age of television, we want everything fast-paced and happening in 5-minute increments. Not this 20-minute long, drawn-out getting from A to B. So, there it is. Well, it's been another fun episode. What's our next on the menu?
The Nth Degree, a Barkley episode.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
You know, it's never boring when a member of the A-Team shows up. All right, folks. Well, with that, I'd like to say thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.
Why am I interviewing you guys?
So you're the guest.
So Sasha, what's a Star Trek?
Hi,
Next
I am the
Generation?
guest. So Sasha, what is Star Trek?
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear, Broke for Free, As Colorful as Ever,
Growing Pains by Daniel Birch, Water Fountain by Lee Rosevere.
Audio engineering by Sascha Shouties. Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirschner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sascha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.